Sports Blitz Live is on the air with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown, Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown!
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
A good Saturday morning to everybody, and welcome into the Sports Blitz Saturday Sports Countdown, presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. It is college game day here in the state of Alabama. Everybody's been waiting on this one for, it seems like, the last game of last year. So we're finally back here, and a lot of anticipation over the last couple of months, and Alabama and Auburn will be back on the field tonight. So we'll talk a lot about that a little bit later on in the program. Believe it or not, we've had 2 weeks of high school football already, and we're going to dive into the scores from throughout the state of Alabama, break down games from right here in this local area, and take your phone calls as we do every Saturday morning and your comments on Facebook and YouTube. A lot of things to get to today, and Randy, again, this is like Christmas. We talked about it yesterday on the Auburn Blitz with Jim. He said one more sleep till Auburn football for Auburn fans, one more sleep for Alabama fans, and you kind of look at it like for football fanatics, you look at it as Christmas Day. Well, it's finally arrived, so. Not going to be much substance to the games that Auburn and Alabama play today, but you're getting the season kicked off, and that's what everybody is excited about, and we're going to have a lot of discussion about that later on. But high school football here to start the show, and obviously we're going to start with a game that we called last night, and as we always do, and it was a good football game up in Clay County, Alabama, as Central Clay knocked off Benjamin Russell 35-28. Crazy game, about an hour weather delay with some lightning, and but when it rained, it cooled everything off, moved out. Was a late night for everybody last night, but a good ending to that football game. Not the way we wanted it to end, but a good football game. It came down to the end. Clay Central just a little bit too much for Benjamin Russell last night.
Yeah, and I'll start with the positives for them. First off, great crowds on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
In today's day and age, I was picking a paper up this morning, so if I wander around real quick, just differences of when you and I were brought up to in comparison to now.
Right.
One, you don't necessarily each Friday night or Thursday night see crowds, Brett, like we saw the last couple of weeks.
Right.
It's not the norm anymore. People have too many other avenues and too many other options on the way that they can watch or pull games in. Now, you and I are highly involved in the way that they watch and pull those games in, so it has changed. Another thing that's changed, I went to a newspaper stand this morning to pick up a newspaper. Now, when you and I,
when's the last time you did that?
Young kids out there, this is how we were raised.
Right.
On Saturday morning, if you got a paper to your house,
right,
your mama woke you up, and if you did something good on Friday night, maybe the Outlook took a picture of you and put a little synopsis of what you did so well on Thursday or Friday night. In today's world, that's not necessarily the only way that you get it, but that's the only way that we read, got stats, knew what was going on in ball games.
Right.
So it's changed so much over the last 25, 30 years. But back to the ball game, I'll talk positive on Central Clay because I've got a lot of good things to say about our program as well at Benjamin Russell. But 3 observations for Central Clay on how they won that football game last night because it wasn't given to them, and that's going to be a positive, I'll say. One, their ability to change things up offensively when needed is really impressive. It's what's won them a lot of football games since Danny went back to Central Clay. And Chase Horn deserves a lot of credit for that because he'll dial up a deep ball when me, you, and nobody in the stands thinks it's coming.
Right.
He did it twice last night. To end the first half, they dropped that one. Thank the Lord. It would have been a long touchdown pass there. There's no way I thought they were making that throw. And then late in the football game, we're closing the gap. We got all the momentum on our side. And Deshaun Gibbons throws as pretty a football as you could possibly throw on a deep post pattern on the backside They hit Tyler Boyd, and
Right.
Tyler Boyd takes it in for the touchdown. There's one good thing right there. Two, you said it a million times last night, and I'm going to say it 1,000,001 right here. They had 4 guys go both ways. Entire game. Not part of the game. And they played skill positions. We're not talking about line of scrimmage going both ways.
Right.
We're talking about their corners and their safeties.
A lot of running.
A lot of running, outside backers. All of these guys going both ways. Never cramped once. Never saw a single guy go out.
Right.
And, yes, Danny Horn and his staff, that's a testament to what they do on the practice field and getting those guys conditioned. But, you know, I said this on the broadcast last night. When Danny was our coach, the only game he lost in the series is when we went over there
Right.
and we started cramping, I think, early in the first half.
Right.
And we didn't stop the whole game. So, yes, so tip your hat to those kids.
No,
Those kids, at a certain point
Well,
in
I don't
time,
think-
you got to know what is expected of you. And
Right.
if you're playing a skill, you're looking at someone that played a skill on both sides, both ways.
Right.
And I had issues, and you know this,
Right.
cramping. You have to, like, as a personal deal, get yourself prepared to not go out there and do what we dealt with last night. I didn't see a single one of those guys at a skill position come off the field last night. I didn't see a single cramp.
No,
I got one more, but I'll kick it to you on that.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish your analysis.
You know, the thing that is the most impressive to me about Central Clay is their ability to roll different guys in different positions and do practically the same thing.
Right.
LaDamian Boyd goes out last year, week 10. The team really just fell apart after that. Danny has said it. Others have said it.
Yeah.
They had outscored their opponents 400-73 in the 10 games that they had won all those football games.
And got shut out.
Boyd
It's
goes
crazy.
down in a not very good UMS Wright with one of the best coaches that's ever coached
Yeah, that
here in the
wasn't
state.
one of their best teams. They
Comes
were a 4
over
seed for a reason.
to Central Clay and shuts them out 7-0. Maybe they're braced for that now, but we didn't see that last night because Boyd was gimpy at times last night. And my gosh, I think you told Coach Horn this after the game, they threw Cherry in there.
I did. I told Coach Horn.
And he had a burst that we just weren't necessarily prepared for there at the end.
No, and again, it's not a knock on LaDamian Boyd. First of all, to come back from an injury like he had last
Impressive.
year is in the guts of him to come back. But you can tell it is something that he's still trying to fight through and get over. Still had some really good runs, and we attacked the line of scrimmage pretty hard, and he didn't have a very good night running the football, and it was a lot to do with what we did. But they have too many guys that they can roll in and out in positions, like you said, that can come in and look. Okay, it's my turn. I'm gonna come out here and give you 110 at that position, and Cherry did that. The guy that wears number 2, just a phenomenal 3 or 4 carries when they needed him to be, a top running back. But I'll go back to what you said about calling plays at the right time. When you go back and look at film, dialing up those 2 plays, those 2 throws, it was probably the right call because one was at the end of the half, right? So you're not really risking anything if it gets picked off or whatever, but you're taking a shot to try to get momentum going into the locker room because I thought Benjamin Russell had seized a little momentum at that point. And then to come back, we had come down and scored a touchdown, looked like we had momentum. They come back and they take a shot. They have the ball at about the 32, 33-yard line. We had just cramped up right on the play before, if you'll remember that. So I guess as a coach, when you're looking at all that, as fans, as broadcasters and all that, we're not processing all that. But as a coach, and you got other coaches out there that are watching from above that tell your offensive coordinators, your defensive coordinators, hey, man, they're struggling a little bit. Maybe here's our time to take a shot. And they dial them up at the right time, and then they hit that pass to Boyd, and they get that touchdown right back. Now, again, this was a scoring flurry for both teams. They scored, we scored. They scored, we scored. But they hit a stretch right there where they scored on 3 consecutive drives after our defense had really come out, it seemed like, and gained momentum back for us because we started the game about as flat as you can start it. I mean, I talked to Coach Grider about it, was talking to a couple of our assistant coaches. I think the best thing that happened for us was that lightning delay. We went back in the locker room, Randy, and regrouped because I'm telling you, they were up 7-0. It just we had no first downs to speak of. Had 2, I think, in the first half, maybe 3, and it came on that one drive where we were able to get 1 touchdown, and it was right there at the end of that first half. But man, for the most part, again, it was mistakes, it was mental things, it were little things that at the time may have only been 5 yards, or at the time it was just, we just barely missed getting the first down, we got a punt. That add up at the end of the game, and you find yourself with the ball with a minute and a half trying to come down and tie the game, is if you didn't have that, if you do sustain drives, if you do some things a little bit differently in the early parts of the game, maybe there's a different outcome. You said it toward the end of the game. We started pushing on them a little bit at the end. We started getting momentum. Well, when you're down 2 touchdowns, it's different than if you're tied or up a score doing that, trying to control the clock. We're trying to get down the field and make up ground, and by then it was too late.
Tip your hat. That's 2 years in a row Central Clay winning a game about like that, where I felt like we
just got off to a
equal talent and off to a bad start, and they get off. But somebody's got to get off to a good start for you to get off to a bad, and they do. They show up to the field. They're ready to play.
They
for
are.
whatever reason.
That's part of it, man.
Whatever reason, we're not matching them physically until the game gets going. But I do want to jump into some positives for us there. We didn't look good early on at all, and you and I were very honest about that on the broadcast last night. But we did after that. And we didn't win the football game, but, man, we played with a little passion. We played with a little emotion. We acted like we cared a little bit out there on the field. And the people that were standing over there on the sideline, which, by the way, is a big testament to what you are thinking or what you're doing, even if you're standing over there and you're not getting any snaps, if you're hanging out with your helmet on backwards, giggling and kind of pinching on each other over on the side, you're not in the football game, and we looked like that at times, but we didn't after we came out of that locker room, and we played a physical brand of football on the defensive side. Our defensive player of the week this week was Caleb Spivey. He was contained last week against a very good Opelika team with only 4 tackles. We don't have the defensive stats with us to know how many he had last night. I don't need them. He was reckless. I mean, he was all over the field making big-time plays behind the line of scrimmage, but even when he wasn't making the plays, he was causing disruption all night long. Only a sophomore, already about a dozen offers. SEC schools, got one to Auburn already. He's got one to Oregon, was one of the first ones on him. A lot of teams want Caleb Spivey, and films like that last night are the ones that you want to send out because you want to show everybody. He gets off the bus, you want to see him. He's already that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, sometimes you list these kids, and we do it especially at linebacker, you'll list them at 6'1", 215 pounds, when in reality they're 5'11", 190 or 195.
It's not.
And when they get off the bus, you go, I don't know what you put on the program, but that's not right. He's 6'3", he's 235, he's a sophomore. He looks the part.
Yep.
Now, do you play the part? And do you have a motor?
He
had a motor that
night.
never stopped last night. He probably needed to come out of the football game at times late. I mean, he was done for.
He was gassed,
we had played a lot of plays. Central Clay absolutely owned the time of possession, especially in the first half. But he was as good as advertised last night, Brett.
No doubt. Again, Opelika, we don't watch film to break down to see what a team does to take maybe necessarily a player out of a game like they did Opelika. And, we did the same against Opelika with maybe some of the guys they had up front. We were able to scheme and take maybe a couple of guys away. But last night it was just one of those determinations where he said, look, I'm gonna make plays, and no matter who's lining up or if I'm double teamed, I'm gonna fight through it. But I thought our defensive line again coming out of the they did well. I don't think they were part of that sluggish start. I think they came out and played pretty doggone good, from the jump. But again, when your offense cannot manage any first downs, and you're backed up. And the first score for Central Clay was a pure field position. We saw the whittling away, and we've seen Coach Horn do that. Don't do anything to turn the ball over. See the other team, you've got them on their heels a little bit offensively. Let's just play field position. Well, they whittled it down and ended up getting up their second or third possession at our 35-yard line and ended up taking it in for a touchdown. Special teams cost us another touchdown last night. A snap that went over the head. And we had momentum there. We had just gotten momentum and flipped the field position, if you'll remember. Give it right back to them, give them the short field, they go down and do exactly what a good football team does. You make a mistake, they make you pay for it. And they gave us some opportunities, and credit them. They took advantage of our mistakes, and we didn't take advantage of theirs. They gave us a turnover around the 35-yard line. We didn't get a yard at their 35-yard line. So credit their defense for having their backs against the wall and knowing that, hey, we've got a short field and they've got playmakers, and they didn't give up anything. And then we had another opportunity late in the game where we had the ball on their side of the field from a good return, and they stopped us, and we didn't get anything out of that either. So a couple of opportunities for us in plus territory that we didn't take advantage of. We ain't even talked about Sedarian Morgan yet. We talked about Caleb Spivey. We haven't talked about Sedarian Morgan. Taylor Boyd for them on their side. Tyler, excuse me. Well, there's 800 of them.
There's four of them, and they're all good.
Excuse me for missing one of 9 that's over there. But he made some really good plays offensively. He was their go-to guy when they needed a big play. Sedarian, Randy had 5 catches and 3 touchdowns. He had another one that looked like it could have been in. We couldn't see it. And, look, I've been told, and this is not – I thought the game was well officiated, really well officiated. It's 2 weeks in a row. We've had 2 well officiated games. But I think the referee missed that catch down in front of the dance team. I mean, everybody I've talked to said that, he was clearly in bounds. I don't know. We didn't see it. We couldn't from where we were. But bottom line is maybe the targets – maybe we didn't target Sedarian Morgan enough. When you have 5 catches and 3 touchdowns, and, man, those last couple of catches he made, Randy, showed why he is the number 1 receiver in the 2026 class. And it's no shot at any kid on Central Clay or anybody we play moving forward. There's not a team out there that can guard that guy one-on-one. And look, I talked to a couple of coaches last night, and they said, look, a 50-50 ball to Sedarian Morgan is really a 70-30 ball in reality, because – he's so physically dominant, and he does have good speed and power. That last touchdown he scored, man, was just sheer will. He shook off about two or three guys and ended up breaking the tackles and scoring a touchdown. But, man, that guy has got to touch the football more, a lot more, to give yourself a chance. When you walk out of a stadium, Randy, you want to know that you've laid all your cards on the table. You hadn't left anything in the bag. And I'm not sure, we can't go back and look at film and say, look, man, we got to figure out a way to get one involved more.
Well, a couple of things off of that. In a perfect world, nobody goes both ways. In reality, growing up in Ellick City, living in Ellick City, knowing the number of players, and even when we had twice as many players as we have now, players go both ways.
Yeah.
Just if you really want to go out there. So what you're saying is also part of some things that I think early in the season that you work through, and our coaches know that better than anybody, but I was very impressed with Central Clay and their ability for 4 or 5 of their guys to go both ways. Sedarian is all that advertised. You must get him touches. He touched the football one time. He had 1 reception for 8 yards in the first half. They were part of the deal there. We called a lot of pass plays to him and didn't give him time. Elijah didn't have time. I thought Elijah there in the first half wasn't quite as composed as he normally is, but he was outstanding in the second half. And he put the football up in places where Sedarian could make the play. Somebody had to throw those things.
Oh, Elijah turned. Look, Elijah was a different guy in the second half.
Yep.
And he'll tell you that. There's no doubt. And look, we bragged on Elijah last week. Well, I feel like he was a 3-year starter, the way he played against Opelika in that game, and the pressure, and really not getting rattled and stepping up and feeling the pressure and looking downfield, and a couple of throws to the second and third progression. I mean, that's veteran stuff there. But maybe a little bit trying to press the issue a little bit early in the game, trying to make some plays. Yeah. Just a little high on a couple of throws, but he reeled that in. And look, hey, we had one penalty I thought of last night that was an effort penalty. We had a man downfield where Elijah kept a play alive, found Sedarian cutting across, made a throw that got called back on a man downfield. And that's just simply him trying to keep a play alive and looking downfield at the last minute. But really, Elijah made a play on third down that really got us going in that football game. It was 3rd and 7 or 8. He just pulled the ball down, broke a couple tackles, got inside their territory, and really kind of started that run for us offensively. And that's just a gutsy play by him.
I know we're up against a break, but I do want to throw one more thing out there. I did think that it was very well officiated. And that's one of the best officiating crews in the state. I know them. They're really good. But we had a penalty go against us late in the football game. If you're going to let both sides, I'm not just saying Central Clay or Benjamin Russell,
right,
but if you're going to let me as a player chirp the entire game
right
at the opposition both ways, and it gets late in the football game, and you throw a flag for the first time for 15 yards at one of the most crucial moments of the football game, the first time that you say, okay, I'm not going to let y'all just keep doing this, but I'm going to pick the time that's going to hurt the opposition the worst. That's what happened last night. That was a terribly timed call. I have no problem with the call. It was deserved. I'm not saying that.
Right.
But those two, first off, that got called, now it went against us. He deserved it. Clearly, you just turned your eyes over there at the time that it worked
It's always the second guy,
because
right?
the one that fell down, soccer fell down on the field. He had talked the entire night. He talked from the moment, I guess, he walked on the green grass until he left out. I have no problem if you're going to throw penalties on that. A lot of times you'll throw flags and you'll let the team know. If you keep running your mouth, Randy, I'm gonna throw one on you.
Yeah.
You keep doing that, it's coming. But don't hold the darn thing in your back pocket until there's 5 minutes left in the football game and then give them 15 yards on a kickoff. There's moments where the timing's not right for a call like that.
And I think you said it. There's penalties that hurt worse than others, and that one was devastating because we had to kick off from the 25.
Well, it was one that was deserved, but it was deserved both ways. If you're going to call it, don't put us in a position where we're way behind.
99% of the time, you see that in college, high school, and pro. That you see the offsetting penalty. To send a message to say, look, okay, we're going to throw the flag because I got to do it. And I know both. One guy just didn't all of a sudden. You know what I mean? And they know that, so they do an offsetting.
I know if I'm sitting up there behind the mic calling a broadcast, and I can look out on the field and notice one player has run his mouth the entire night, that you out there as officials know that. And it's fine. If you want to let it keep going on, let them chirp back and forth at one another, fine. But don't decide late in the football game you're going to make that one big-time call to try to clean things up. You're not cleaning it up, man.
And it was, we'd come down and scored and then got a 2-point conversion.
Yeah,
and
we were back in it.
Back in the football game at that point, and then you have that little back and forth that ends up being a 15-yarder. And look, it hurt. I mean, it did. Hey, credit them. They were able to get down. Hey, we did enough to get the ball back in our hands with some time on the clock and a timeout in our pocket to try to drive. And we had been driving the football at that time, but they turn it over on downs, but we're deep in our territory.
It could have been turned over on downs at our 45 instead of down at our 20.
And they made a play. To get, to pin us back a little bit more, which, again, every little thing at that point mattered. But we couldn't get a drive going right there to end the football game. So they end with the 35-28 win. Again, Central Clay, tip your hat. They played a great football game.
Team.
Yeah, and again, you got
be shocked if they'll lose a game in the regular season.
Yeah, I don't think they will, looking at their schedule. I don't. I'll make one more analysis and move on. Again, you have got to, and this is everybody in the world knows this, Our players know this. Our coaches know this. You got to get off the bus ready to play football. You can't, against a good football team. You may be able to against a team that you're more dominant, you know, and you've clearly got an advantage. You can kind of get off to a sluggish start and maybe not play your best and find a way to win. But against good football teams, you can't give up a quarter. You can't play 3 quarters. You can't play 2 quarters and really have an expectation to win. Well, we still did, even though we fought through some of that stuff. But if you want to move forward and turn the season around like I know we can, I mean, again, region play hasn't even started yet. You got to figure out a way to get going right out of the gate and not wait till halftime to get started. So, all right, we're going to take a break. Stay tuned. More to come here on the Saturday Sports Countdown.
Sportz Auto Sales, Highway 280 in Kellyton, Alabama, is home-owned and home-operated. If you're looking for tires, they have it. If you're looking for a vehicle, they have them. Great selection. Always out looking for more just for you, the customer. And if you're looking for service, whether you buy the vehicle from them or whether you buy the vehicle somewhere else, they do service work and got a great crew there. Keep us in mind. Why don't you go by Sportz Auto Sales on Highway 280 in Kellyton today.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply is your headquarters for all the brands contractors know best. We're your local home improvement store with 9 convenient locations throughout Central Alabama. We have a huge selection of Weber and Traeger, Pelican coolers, Milwaukee and DeWalt tools, and other top brands. No matter the project, we have you covered with our high-quality lumber and building supplies. From do-it-yourselfers to seasoned pros, Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply has what you need to get the job done.
Red Flag Pest Control is Central Alabama's best in pest control with hometown service in Lake Martin and now the greater Montgomery area. When you see pests, throw down the red flag. Termites, bed bugs, carpenter bees, mosquitoes, or general pests. Red Flag gets the job done at the right price for your home or business. At Lake Martin, call 888-943-0353 or in Montgomery, 334-265-1831. Red Flag, the best in pest control in Central Alabama.
I'm Karen Chanel, your State Farm agent in Alexander City, Alabama, and the greater Lake Martin area. I want to talk to you a little bit today about your discounts. How many of you are entitled to discounts that you may or may not be receiving? One of the easiest discounts on your homeowner's insurance is that of having a fire extinguisher. Coupled with a deadbolt lock and a smoke alarm, that gives you an automatic discount on your homeowner's policy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. It's going to be a sunshiny day outside today. It's going to be hot, but a good day for college football. Give our friends at Sunshine Heating and Air, Kevin Kill and his staff, a call for all your heating and air needs, 256-825-4849. Got some comments rolling in. Glenn said Wadley's running back combo going to be hard to stop. We're going to get to that here in just a second. Jerome said, hope we have a wonderful day today. Go Auburn and Bama. He's asking for scores for Lafayette and Lynette. We are going to get to all these scores. Dano sends a good morning and a War Eagle. Tony says Stanhope loses its 12th straight game on the field in the Prattville series. The game actually much more closer than the score indicated. Turnovers by both teams in the red zone really made an impact. We'll talk about that as well. For all of you just tuning in, I've got several texts coming through right now. Just kind of gave a synopsis for two segments of last night's game. Central Clay and Benjamin Russell's a good football game. Randy, so 7 points. Now the series is tied in points, right?
Mm-hmm. Six games to 5 to Central Clay. Points were, I believe, I'm not going to throw a random. I think it was 239 to 232 going into that series, and Central Clay wins by 7 last night. So, and hey, if you're a Danny Horn fan, Danny Horn's now 8-3 in the series. As he only lost one football game against Benjamin Russell. I mean, as the Benjamin Russell coach, and has done a good job over at Central Clay too. So, but 5 games to Benjamin Russell, 6 to Central Clay. We did 20-plus minutes there to open the show. So if you want to just hear nothing, maybe we should say that for the next 2 or 3 segments as people are just now tuning in. If you're on Facebook, just scroll back to the front of the show and you can watch 20-plus minutes of recap from last night's game. Let's move down to Class 7A, talk about a few scores. Brett, we talked about this one on the broadcast last night. My gosh, Auburn High School defeats Vestavia 52-17. That's 2 tough games for Vestavia to start the season. Carver in the kickoff classic and Vestavia losing to Auburn last night 52-17.
You know, I'll start with that region and just talk about how brutal. You brought it up on the broadcast last night. I'm telling you, man, you talk about just a gauntlet. I don't have a word really to describe SEC West Division, and I know we don't have the divisions anymore in the SEC, but if you were equating something to, a comparison, it would be that with Carver now in that region. Prattville playing better. Prattville's playing better football.
A merged Carver and Sidney Lanier.
Absolutely.
So
with a new football coach.
Correct.
That Bobby Carr had, again, I know it was in AHSAA, but dadgummit, man, he
10-plus state championships.
Right. He just knows how to coach, and everybody knows that. And hit a rough patch in, his career, has been able to fight back, and is grateful for the opportunity. And I think they're grateful with all that talent on Carver. They've started off the season with 2 massive wins. But you got Auburn, who has blown out 2 opponents now. You've got, Phoenix City, who beat a team out of Missouri last night. Just domination all the way across the board. Enterprise, Dothan.
Holds Pike Road to 6 last night.
Right, and that tells you all you need to know about that. So Opelika, we ain't even said Opelika's name. I mean, you're literally, if you're Opelika and Dothan right now, you're trying to figure out a way to get in that top 4. But if you look at it, Auburn, Phoenix City, Carver, and Enterprise are your 4 favorites for the 4 playoff spots. You got 3 more teams in that region that may have a legit shot at it as well. But I'm telling you, it's every week in that region.
I'll run down a few more scores out there. Austin defeats Decatur. That one's a local game, 41-0. Baker over Alma Bryant, 25-0. You just mentioned Carver. They defeated Percy Julian, which is old Robert E. Lee, 44-14. Bob Jones over Lee, 63-7. It's a very good Bob Jones team. Their quarterback got our Northern Region area Athlete of the Week this past week. Actually got our Sensa Green Athlete of the Week in the Huntsville area. Now that I'm thinking about it, and Brett, he puts up massive numbers and did it again last night.
I'm not going to take anything away from Bob Jones or Huntsville or anybody up in that area. But I'll believe it when I see it. When they get to the playoffs, that region is non-existent. There's 2 regions in 7A that even do anything right now, and it's that Birmingham region and it's that East Alabama region. I think one time out of the Mobile region in 7A, they won the state championship. But outside of that, those other 2 regions have been non-existent. And that Huntsville region has not done anything come playoff time.
Good point. Central Phoenix City did defeat Lutheran North St. Louis 30-12 last night. Daphne over Pine Forest. We know the program that Pine Forest has, 34-7. Dothan over Monroe, 49-21. It's a big game. This is one I think we're going to continue to watch. As Enterprise defeats Pike Road last night, 24-6.
I'm telling you.
Pike Road's really talented offensively. They got a quarterback that almost all would want. He's only a sophomore, but he doesn't look like a sophomore.
He is a stud, man. I'm telling you.
They got a great running back that a lot of teams want, and Enterprise holds them to 6. Enterprise is doing this every week, it feels like, defensively. They don't put up a lot of points, Brett, but you don't want to match them man-to-man, and they've got 2 of the best defensive players in the country, and they got to have a lot more to go along with him.
Yeah, no doubt.
And they're coached up as well as anybody can coach them up, too.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's the storyline in that game, holding them to 6 points. I mean, that tells you all you need to know. I watched film on Enterprise from last week, and they have just got talent all over the place. And they're well put together. As you mentioned, they're going to be well coached. Again, they're in a brutal region, and they've been rising in that region. We'll see if they can get over the hump. A lot of teams feel like they got a legit shot this year. They're going to have a shot.
We'll finish out 7A and then take a break right here. It's Dothan, as we mentioned, over Monroe. Fairhope defeats Faith Academy 36-0 last night. Foley over BC Rain 25-14. Hewitt-Trussville all over Gadsden City 42-14. Hillcrest defeats Sparkman 31-10. It was Oak Mountain over Pelham 38-20. That's 2 straight wins for Oak Mountain to start the season. Will
2
Odell,
losses for Pelham.
our Birmingham Area Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Majestic Caverns, was Will Odell, the quarterback for Oak Mountain. If they scored 38 last night, something tells me Will Odell played well again this past week as Pete Story went over. And
he did, man. Pete does a great job.
Some great photos with him. Opelika defeated Callaway, Georgia, 48-14. You made mention that Prattville win over Stanhope, closing out Class 7A's Thompson with a 6-point victory over one of the top programs in the state of Tennessee, Lipscomb Academy.
And Quan Fagans with a 92-yard kickoff return in that game was the difference in the game. Obviously, you know, had a scoop and score the week before against Grayson, Georgia. He's gotten on the board twice now with touchdowns. If you look at Thompson, though, they can't score points. And look,
not to the level they had before.
And you know, here's the deal, and I saw some analysis on Anquan Fagans maybe having to go over to the offensive side to give them a burst. Right now, they don't have anybody that's stepping up, making plays, and Anquan Fagans is dynamic enough to play both sides of the football. Now, I know they need him on the defensive side. He's a tremendous secondary player. But, again, Randy, it goes back to what you said. I don't care if you're 7A or 1A. You know, if you got a guy that can give you an advantage, hey, Colorado's doing it. Now, again, it's to the extreme for Colorado. Man played 79 snaps. They're going to kill the guy, okay, in Division I college football. But at times you need to get Anquan Fagans on the offensive side of the football, man, to give you a spark, to maybe help you a little bit. If you don't have anybody stepping up to kind of take that role, maybe you see him drift over there.
I wouldn't be surprised. I know we're up against a break, but he's coached by one of the best offensive minds I've ever seen in high school football, and Mark Freeman.
Right.
You and I bragged on him all the way back to his Spanish Fort days when we saw him. Just because he can dial him up. So if somebody doesn't step up and start making
he's going to have to move somebody.
He'll do it too.
But again, I will say this: they've played 2 out-of-state teams,
very good,
outstanding programs. Probably not going to be a problem moving forward. Look, I'm not diminishing. Spain Park beat Hoover last night. We've got Spain Park in our region. It's going to be tough, no doubt. They've been 7A pretty much the whole time. They dropped down. But who's challenging Thompson in that region? Seriously.
I'd have to see Hewitt play, but
I mean, this is the same story every year. Hewitt comes out of the gate, looks good, blah, 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 and then when it comes down to Thompson, they just can't get over the hump. So maybe, I'm not saying they can't this year, but Thompson still is dominant defensively, and they're playing 2 outstanding out-of-state programs. This is what happened with Josh Niblett, real quick. I know we got to get to break, but this is what happened with Hoover and Josh Niblett. Josh Niblett would play a couple teams out of state because they needed competition, and then when they got to the regular season, man, it was like a steamroll. I mean, it was no challenge, and all the way to a state championship. And you feel that way at Thompson. I know they don't like moral victories. They don't like to lose to anybody, but they've had 2 really, really big challenges. They've won one, they lost one in overtime, so you really not a lot to hold
even in overtime, only giving up 15 points.
That's it.
Yeah, they're real good on
defense. They're great defense. Well, Jared Smith, Anquan Fagans, and a boatload of other guys, but you basically got 2 5-stars over there on defense. So, all right, up against the break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Hillary Towers may very well be the Lake Martin area's best kept secret. An affordable senior citizens community located on Highway 22 East in Alexander City. Spacious one-bedroom units are currently available. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today for more information on the newly renovated Hillary Towers, 256-329-0552. 256-329-0552. Hillary Towers, 22 East, Alexander City.
Sign Source is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindaiwa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
Passion, the obsession that burns within. Determination, the burning desire to make it. Drive, the motivation to be the absolute best. Skills, the tools to perform at the highest level. Excellence, the feeling of achievement. At Central Alabama Community College, you can release your passion, show your determination, display your drive, and showcase your skills to achieve excellence. Central Alabama Community College, central to you, central to your success.
Hi, I'm Abby Guy, Vice President at Riverbank and Trust. They say that most banks offer the same products, but Riverbank offers something most can't: personal connection. We love getting to know our customers by name and making them feel special with every interaction. It's a feeling of warm hospitality you won't find anywhere else. Experience it for yourself.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Appreciate all the people commenting, getting a lot of text messages, just thoughts on last night's game. Again, we went through a couple of segments there to start the program on Central Clay and Benjamin Russell. A lot of people still wanting to talk about that game a little bit. We're going to keep going down the scoreboard here in the first hour's almost over. But just a couple more thoughts on that game, some questions. Just asking about I had a text asking about the cramp situation, and this is a couple of games in a row, Randy, for Benjamin Russell, and they're making mention of Central Clay not really being affected by that late. And it's a storyline. It's not an excuse, but it's an observation, and it's a storyline where with 5:37, I'll never forget it, in the third quarter, we had our first cramp that I saw. And then I looked at you and said on the broadcast, I said, we got a lot of football left to play. We got a quarter and a half left to go, and we're starting to cramp. And then they came on pretty regularly at that point. I mean, we had several guys from there to the end of the game go down. And you had made mention, I think maybe a few minutes prior to that, gave the MVP to the trainer girls and how good of a job they had been doing for our side to keep our guys out there and
just effort
and effort and just what they were doing and working. But that is a storyline that needs to be talked about, is that you brought it up multiple times on the broadcast. I talked about it too. they had their skill guys, basically they just swapped their receivers and running backs out for secondary. So they never came off the field. And you said it, this is not linemen going both ways. This is guys
a lot of times you're getting run off.
Yeah, you're getting run off the play and have to come back and you run off again. And, you know, a lot of things are done intentionally by the other team sometimes to make you more tired. And they weren't affected by it. And I do think it affected us a little bit toward the end of that game.
I wish I had an answer for it. You know, the only thing that you and I can say is just facts. And the facts were that they had guys that played 90 plays last night and had none, and we had some that played 50 plays and had a bunch of them. So at a certain point, when you get this old and you've played this much football and you and I can read, and we know you gotta hydrate, you gotta be in shape, but the hydration part you gotta do yourself.
Oh, no, there's no doubt. You got to be prepared.
You got to have some kind of discussion and preparation maybe throughout. Look, I'm not the coach. I'm not the one that's got to determine these things. But it's clear it was a problem. It was a major problem. And it was a problem that Chase Horn exposed on that last touchdown. He dialed it up perfect.
And it was the right time to call it. We had just scored, had momentum, and you take a shot when you feel a team's vulnerable. And we had a bunch of guys walking around out there, you know, hobbled. And when you got a guy like Boyd that can make a move and get in a one-on-one situation, when you look at the coverage, and you got a guy like Gibbons that can deliver the football, hey, man, why not take that shot and they got that touchdown right back. We had driven down, scored, and they get it right back and get it back to two-score game. Now, we get the ball and go right back down and score again too. That was when Sedarian made that unbelievable play in open field where he shook off about 3 or 4 guys, looked like gnats. He was just swatting them. But, again, they were able to get a quick score right back and made us have to come back and drive again. So, we appreciate the text and the comments, and we'll discuss anything that you want to talk about as you keep those rolling in.
I'm going to run down just a few scores in each classification that jump out to me. Chelsea moves to 2-0. In 6A, dropping from 7 down to 6, defeat Wetumpka last night, 15-14. They're sitting in our region. That will be a big game. Chilton County goes to 2-0, 28-27 victory over Jemison last night. Helena now with a big win over McAdory, 29-28. That was a good win. Briarwood now 0-2. I know they're in 5A. And they move up and they play against Oak Mountain in week 1 and then play Homewood in 6A team in week 2, but Homewood wins 28-7. Closing out a few more scores of interest here. Oxford defeats Moody last night, 24-21. Oxford now 2-0. That's a really good Moody team. So it's
a very good Moody team.
So a good win by Oxford. Parker, watch out 6A.
Good Lord.
From a talent and an athleticism standpoint, you don't want any of Parker. Parker defeats Mountain Brook last night, 30-16.
Did you bring up that Clay Chalkville range?
No, I'll go back to that one and close out this one, and we'll take another break. Spain Park, big victory over Hoover last night, 39-37. Great football game down south with Spanish Fort. In OT, double overtime, defeats Theodore 24-21. It's a really good Theodore team led by Steve Mask now as the head coach there. But coming back up, Clay Chalkville defeats Ramsey 62-7. If you thought Clay Chalkville was going to fall off the map with Jalen Mbakwe and others moving on. And
they lost DJ Barber, Jalen Mbakwe. They lost the there was another, the
that big offensive tackle
they lost that speedster. It went to Mississippi State.
Yeah.
I mean, they lost. Dude, this is not like most teams would fold up losing players like that. They just keep rolling them out. Ramsey was the runner-up in 5A last year, by the way. But they have – I don't know what the score combinations are, but they were blown out by Parker, which is a lot of people think are
best team in 6A.
The favorite in 6A.
Unless Clay Chalkville.
Right.
Yeah.
And then now Clay Chalkville, 62-7, man, the discrepancy in scores for Ramsey's got to be going. What's going on right now?
A couple of quick scores in 5A, and then we'll go ahead and take a break. First off, Boaz, who has one of the best quarterbacks in the state of Alabama. He's also one of the best baseball players in the state of Alabama. He was named one of our athletes of the week.
Don't hear much out of Boaz over the last 15 years on this
56-7 over Albertville. When you get a guy like that, though, he just broke the Boaz all-time passing record, and he's got a complete season nothing left to go, they can throw it around the park and they can score a lot of points out there. Central Clay, again, we made mention, 35-28 victory. Corner now 2-0 with another big win over Dora last night. Corner's a program that you and I know because we know some good friends of ours that live up there, but they're a program that we used to never discuss, and now we talk about them all the time. It was Gunnersville over Fort Payne, 23-19. Montgomery Catholic defeated St. Clair, 51-14 last night. Shelby County, big win over Hopeful last night, 31-14. And we'll close out this segment talking about two more scores, and then we'll close out this segment. Valley defeats Smith Station 36-9.
That's Central Clay's next opponent.
Yep. Tallahassee and Elmore County. And then,
well, let me say this about Central Clay one more time. I don't know. Last year they came in. They ended up scoring, a couple late and pulling away from us. But we were the closest football game they had to the playoffs. I mean, they steamrolled everybody. They didn't have a close game. I mean, you read off the discrepancy of points, what they scored versus what they gave up. I see it very similar. Again, look, I know that's Saban calls this kind of stuff rat poison, but it's really not. I mean, you look at our game last night and how close that game was. And then you look at their schedule, and I think Clay Central is definitely a favorite to get all the way to Birmingham. Again, 5A football, there's some good football teams, but Gulf Shores is not there now. There are still some teams that are good, but I don't think are any better than what we saw last night and what they're going to be able to run on the field on every given Friday night. I mean, their attrition, man, again, if you got guys that can go in a big-time football game like last night and never come off the field, that many people, they're just going to get better and better. And if they stay injury-free, and I know that's a key to every season, but if they stay injury-free,
I wouldn't be surprised they win a state championship.
Oh, and they should.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't know who I'd be picking in 5A over them. I mean, seriously, somebody tell me who you would pick over them right now in 5A. So, again, if you're Benjamin Russell, you look at you're 0-2, but you played two great programs, and you did a lot to hurt yourself. You're going back to the film room and you're saying, if we clean any of this up, we probably win both of those football games, or we're in a position to win. We were in a position to win last night, despite a lot of penalties and not getting but about 2 or 3 first downs in an entire half of football. And then we finally discovered this 6'5" guy standing over there and said, man, we got to get him in football. And he caught 3 touchdown passes in the second half. So there's a lot of positives moving forward. No moral victories. Nobody likes to lose. But if Benjamin Russell can clean this stuff up, it's going to be a good year for them. But it's very promising from this point out. And we'll have another chance at a region championship if they get things reeled in.
Suspended game, Tallahassee and Elmore County.
We'll talk about it when we
talk
come
about
back.
that on the other side.
Yeah. Take a break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Weiss with Weiss Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Weiss Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Weiss Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Weiss Motors.
Get ready to rev up your fall with Adams Motorsports in Montgomery. This season, experience the thrill of the open road like never before. From sleek motorcycles to powerful ATVs to versatile side-by-sides, we've got everything you need to fuel your passion for adventure. Whether Polaris, Suzuki, or Kawasaki, Adams sells and services the best. Go to where the journey begins. Visit us today or online for more information. From East Alabama's first family of power sports, Adams Motorsports of Montgomery.
76% of nurses say they went into the profession because they wanted to help patients. No matter the reason you decided to become a nurse, you have all the tools needed to advance your degree at Jacksonville State University. Our Master's in Nursing program is now offered fully online and can be completed in less than 2 years. You can customize a flexible course schedule so you can receive your advanced education degree all while working on the front line. JSU Nursing, your opportunity to advance your career and serve your community.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Dadeville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
There's only one option for top-of-the-line aftermarket upgrades on your vehicle, and that's Frontline Outfitters. We offer quality parts, lift kits, custom wheels and tires, bed covers, step bars, and toolboxes that are installed by trained and skilled professionals, to custom powder coating with hundreds of colors and finishes, to the highest quality film for window tinting using state-of-the-art film cutting technology. Call Frontline Outfitters at 256-409-8100. Don't be in the back of the line. Put your vehicle at the front with Frontline Outfitters.
Looking to transform your outdoor space? Look no further than Bama Sheds. As a family-owned and operated business, we understand your needs. That's why we offer no credit check, rent-to-own options. Enjoy free delivery and setup within 35 miles of our 4 convenient locations. Whether you need a shed, pole barn, garage, or carport, we've got you covered. Visit our website at bamasheds.com or call 256-268-8484. Bama Sheds, where quality meets affordability and your outdoor dreams become reality.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Last segment here in the first hour, we got college football to get into in the second hour, but so much to talk about. Just 2 weeks into high school football season. It's been a crazy start already. You mentioned last night a very big rival, but week 2 is a rivalry week all across the state. We saw a lot of rival games. Again, last night we had a rival game with Central Clay. We had Spain Park and Hoover play last night. It's a close game. Had another close game going on in South Tallapoosa County. I actually was in Eclectic. I think it was in Elmore County last night, not in Tallahassee. 14-14 in that football game, but that game gets suspended and the stadium evacuated due to some threats. I don't have the full details. All we were told were there were some threats. Some guys were arrested with maybe potential guns in the stadium. I don't know that for a fact, but I think they looked at the threat. They arrested 4 or 5 guys, and they felt it was best to go ahead and take that threat extremely seriously and just stop the football game and evacuate.
Bad enough to stop the football game.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's a lot of money, a lot of effort, and a lot of time that goes in all the way around, not only with the football players and the coaches, but the bands and the dance teams. And there's a lot of effort to get there, and for you to stop it and not finish it tells you what kind of
it was a problem.
It was something
major. Escalate. It was escalating to a point where it could have gotten really bad.
I want to run down a few more scores here in the local area, but I do want to say, I'm about to run these down off of the Outlook here in Alexander City.
Right. There ain't many left, man.
There's not many left, and I do want to plead with everyone, for those that are left, support them. Because people that talking heads like me and you, I pull information all day, 7 days a week.
There ain't a lot of it out there.
And post. And if there wasn't people like this going out,
not a lot of it out there,
getting this information all put together and posting it and sending it around out there, we wouldn't have anything to talk about. So the scores I'm going to run down, I want to definitely say. I'm running down, looking up here at the top. But Tallahassee and Elmore County tied because of that suspended game, 14-all. Chelsea and Wetumpka. It was Chelsea winning 15-14. Handley defeated Dayville last night, 48-21. It was Wadley all over Horseshoe Bend, 62-15. They got two of the best running backs in the state of Alabama playing in Class 1A. Good luck to anybody
Wilkes is the guy.
matching up with Wadley this year. Reeltown with a very good victory over Trinity last night.
That was a big
20-3. It was Edgewood over Hoopers, 27-14. Prattville defeated Stanhope 34-13. Shelby County 31-14 over Hopeville. Randolph County 48-8 over Coosa Central, and Southern Prep defeated Coosa Valley 40-6 last night.
Couple notes here in Tallapoosa County. Horseshoe Bend just ran up against a buzzsaw.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, 1A, 2A, smooth A, it don't matter. Wadley's going to have a shot to win a 1A.
They're both juniors.
I know it, man. They're
not say they're the only two because I've watched them play. They got good lines of scrimmage.
Wilkes is the number 5 player in the state. Sedarian Morgan's the number 1 player in the state in that class. So yeah, I mean, look, he'd be good on any team. But when you're playing on a 1A team and you're 6'4", 220 pounds, and you play middle linebacker and you play running back, dude, I mean.
And you got somebody beside you that's also a sophomore first-team All-State running back, too.
Yeah, you got a two-headed monster back there. Right, and so Elba is in 1A. They've got the best running back in the state in Henderson. He got shut down last night, ran up against a good football team there in Glenwood. But I'm telling you, maybe a collision course there at some point in time. I don't know if there's two better teams in 1A than those two I just mentioned. On the flip side for Dayville, look, I think people need to be patient with Chad McKelvey and that group down there. He's a great offensive mind. He was the offensive coordinator during one of the best stretches here late for Dayville when Kyle was the quarterback down there, and he just knows how to play. He's got to get that culture back. You know, he's building Dayville back, and, you know, they got athletes down there, but, you know, you and I talked about this last night. It's a mindset. You know, you got to get off the bus with a killer mindset. You know, like we're not going to come out here and, you know, we're not taking any prisoners. We're coming out here and we're going to play from the first whistle to the last whistle. And Dayville's got to build that back up. So they have a tough schedule. They have a really tough schedule. So they're going to have some growing pains this year, but I think you're just going to have to hang in there.
One last thought here in the High School Blitz segment. The entire second hour of the program is open for you to call in if you got questions on high school, but we'll move in and talk Auburn, Alabama football mainly. But two programs I think we're going to talk a ton about, not only this year but moving forward, is Glenwood and Lee Scott.
Oh, for sure.
I knew that they were good because they were playing each other for state championships just about every year. They move into the AHSAA. We've already seen teams from AHSAA come to AHSAA and have success.
Well, these two
are in prime areas in the classifications they're going to be in to continue to do what we're already seeing.
They're in 3A. They're in Dayville's region. They're in there with Childersburg.
But many eyes were open last night looking at that Glenwood-Elba score.
Went down to Glenwood. Went down to Elba and beat them.
Yeah.
So,
and I know it's 1A match for 3A, but that's not a normal 1A.
Well, no, and again, Glenwood's not a big school. I mean, they're playing up because of private school. Okay, so that they're really probably size-wise very close to Elba.
Them and Lee Scott off to a 2-0 start.
And I mean, again, look, I talked to a couple of beat writers this week, and again, when you look at that region over there, I mean, who are you favoring? Right now, after the first 2 weeks, probably one of those two teams. I mean, that's a move over. And again, I don't know what the future of AHSAA is, but when you lose teams like a Lee Scott and a Glenwood, they're moving over because they don't feel like they're getting challenged. I mean, this is the honest truth.
They're playing each other every year for championships.
They're playing each other, and the only team that's beating each other is them. You know, when you look down on the schedule and you play 9 football games, and the only one you really star is the team that, you know, is right up the road from you. It's like, well, you know, at some point you go, we want a little bit more of a challenge for our players, and that's what they did. You know, again, it's not a cut on AHSAA. It's just the lack of teams to be able to compete against. So, all right, we're up against the top of the hour break. Stay tuned. A lot more to come right after this.
With summer here, the kids out of school, and fun at the lake, illness or injury can strike at any time. Whether you're on vacation or just don't have time to go see your primary doctor, visit your friends and professionals at Ivy Creek Urgent Care, located at Highway 49 South, next to Stillwater's main entrance, with a rotation of 4 professional doctors and 3 nurse practitioners. They honor all walk-ins, get you in, properly treated, and out swift so you can be back to the summer fun fast. When you need urgent, see Ivy Creek Urgent Care, Daveville. No appointment needed.
The new owners of Stillwater's Country Club want to welcome you to play the area's premier course at Stillwater's with our new rate. Now, play for only $35 per 18 during the week and only $40 for the weekend. Stillwater's Golf is ready to give you the area's best golf experience, and many upgrades are coming, including a lighted range and course expansion. Meet the new staff and enjoy $35 per 18 Monday through Friday and $40 on the weekends. All at Stillwater's Country Club in Dadeville.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
The good guys at Alex City Marine are ready for your boating needs all summer. And now you can get up to $4,500 in rebates on our huge selection of new Landau Tritoons and sacrifice pricing on remaining 23 models. Alex City Marine also has a new fleet of rental boats for fabulous days on the water, whether it's service, new pontoon selections, or rental boats. See the pros the locals know. Alex City Marine on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, or online at alexcitymarine.com.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Main Street Family Care offers a wide array of services that allows them to treat many conditions, and they also offer primary care. In addition to these services, they also offer DOT physical exams, lab testing, sports physicals, and vaccines. They accept most major insurance plans, including Medicaid. Main Street Family Care, open 7 days a week. Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. Got a couple of comments I want to read off before we get into this college football side. Tony said, very interesting game next Thursday, Stanhope and Percy Julian at Crampton Bowl, to see kind of where those two teams are moving forward. We've got Percy Julian on our schedule at the end of the season. Stanhope's now 1-1. You know, I think that would be – I don't know who to say he's favored in that. I don't know who to say you would favor in that game.
If you're at Stanhope, you better win it.
Well, I don't think – I mean, Percy Julian's got a talent.
Well, we know that, but I don't think they're anywhere near to the talent level that Carver – I think most of them are at Carver right now.
Right, you're right.
And if Stanhope's going to start getting momentum going in a positive direction after the loss that they had last night to Prattville, that's one you better win.
Did he say that was 12 in a row they've lost to Prattville?
To Prattville, yeah.
Wow, that one's gotten away from them down there for sure. All right, Derek said Daville's lack of depth is the problem. He said the coach is the right man for the job. That's what I just said.
It's a problem all over.
It's a national problem. You know, getting football like you see all these programs, and historically, I would say they're down 30 to 40 kids on average, bigger programs.
Oh, yeah.
And you just don't have the numbers, even in some of these bigger schools, that they used to run out on the field.
Well, let's don't mince words. Let's talk about the one we call.
It's right here.
We've dressed 67 to 70, and that's ninth graders.
Yep.
We might have 45 to 50 10th through 12th graders dressed. The last 2 years, I know these numbers because Braden's one of them. We had 14 seniors one year and 16 the next. It looks like there's some players on that side, but we're dressing 9 through 12, which would have never even been dreamt of. We'd have had to carry 3 darn buses to a game. 9 through 12, 25 years ago. And we're not an outlier. We're the norm, man. It is really hard to win kids to football right now. There's a lot of negative connotation that goes directed towards football. And I love the sport, but I even see it in my own family and friends of mine and stuff. It's a very tough sell, so I don't have a good answer for it.
I don't either. And, you know, it has to be a personal decision. By the way, the Stanhope-Percy Julian game is the game of the week this week on Thursday.
Okay, great.
So we'll be going over to talk to Percy Julian. Me and Lauren will.
Great show, by the way.
Got off to a good start last week on the road with the AHSAA. Went up to Birmingham. Met with Ramsey. Look, if Percy Julian gets blown out, they may not want to see us coming. We went to Ramsey and had a good talk with Coach Jackson, and they went out on the field last night or Thursday night and got blown out by Clay Chalk. But nevertheless, great school. We want to highlight areas of the state, and that's the whole point of that. So looking forward to that. But you're right. Going back to what you were saying. You know, I don't have an answer. And then, you know, last week, the tragedy that struck the young man, you know, that just exacerbates the problem. And it leaves the people out there that are anti the sport, gives them more ammo. But, again, stuff happens. I heard Luke Robinson talk about the young lady that was attacked by the shark in Mountain Brook, and you know, she's battled back, and traumatic. I mean, to go through what she's gone through, and he said he used the analogy that you know, she got attacked by a shark. You're not gonna ever go back in the ocean. You're never gonna go. You're not gonna let your kids stick their toes in the water or wade out into the ocean. He's like, you know, you can't live in a bubble. You know, there's things that are going to happen. There are freak accidents and things that are going to happen. But I'll say this personally, for my son, and I've had many conversations since, and he's in and out of school 3 years now. He's so grateful that he played the sport, and he's so grateful that he stuck it out.
It's the greatest sport.
Because you look, and here's what I told a couple young men last night with us. I said, don't go back 5-10 years from now and go, man, I wish I would have. I said, you can't get that back. You have to live with your decisions whenever you make it. And when you go through stages of life, you only have one chance. And when that stage of life passes by, you don't get that opportunity anymore.
It's the greatest sport. It is the toughest
so
sport. It's so easy to quit that sport and come up with a million different excuses on why you're not going to put yourself through that. It's hard. It's difficult. You must be coached hard and talked to in a way that maybe some don't like. And but in today's society, structure and discipline and all of those things you can get them in different avenues. But I don't think I got them any better in any other avenue of my life growing up than I got on a football field with the coaches that we were lucky enough to have in Alex City.
And, you know, again, and I know you'll back me up on this. It's never too late to get in, but if you're starting or you take a year off, you're that much more behind in trying to get back. And look, it starts really in the 6th grade, making a decision when you go into 7th that I'm going to be in football and I want to make a commitment. And look, there are times as you move up and progress, 7th and 8th you play. Maybe when you get to 9th grade, if you're in a program where 9th graders have to dress for varsity, probably not going to get a lot of playing time. You know, so there's a lot of practice and a lot of things going on, and not a lot of glory that goes with it. And you lose a lot of players from 9th to 10th grade, and maybe even 10th to 11th, because there's a window right in there where, you know, you got upperclassmen. You're supposed to have.
There's other things to do too.
There are other things to do.
Trust me, you know, this is not new. I mean, when you and I came through, there was a whole bunch of athletes that you and I went to school with, and I can name 40 of them right now. The only reason they decided not to play football was 1, because it was tough. 2, they weren't disciplined enough to put themselves through the nightmare that is that every day.
Right.
And 3, they just didn't have enough confidence in themselves to go out there and compete for a job. And so this isn't new. But in today's world, look at the numbers. They are down tremendously.
All the way
in some schools out there, including ours, they may be down 80%. That's what I would guess right now in Alex City, maybe close to 100.
Back in the 90s, we dressed 110.
We dressed between 90 and 100 every year on varsity, 10 through 12.
That's 10 through 12, by the way.
And we had 40 ninth graders.
And reiterate, Randy, the numbers for our school have not changed.
No. The numbers for our school is about 60 students different, 10 through 12 right now than when you and I came through. And sometimes that's 60 ahead and 60 down. It's not like over the last 20 years.
Now, again, you dressed 90 to 100. We didn't play that many.
No.
But,
A lot of us played both ways.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that
it was a deal. I remember talking to some guys in Prattville when, Bill Clark was down there, and they built that program up. And, everybody wanted to just be on the team, because they were like, we're going to win a state championship. I want a ring. I'll stand down there and tote some water or whatever, but I want to be part of that. And when you have a winning program, you want to be part of that because you want to look back in 20 years and go, hey, man, I was on the football team. I got a state championship to ring to prove it. But now it's not the case. You just brought up, I mean, there's a lot more things to do. There's a lot more choices, and kids are going to go in another direction if they have some things they want to do. But I go back, and I'll end here, and we'll go into college football for the last 45 minutes of the show. It starts in middle school. You got to have great leadership, and you got to have a great program in middle school to feed your varsity program and to lead them on up there, because attrition, you're going to lose some players. That's just the natural part of it. But you got to have enough come out and go through the program to when you whittle those kids down that you still got plenty to put a good football team out on the field. And right now, there's a lot of programs struggling with that, and there's no easy answer. You just got to dive in there head first and get a plan and get it done. So, all right, we're going to wrap up high school talk. We come back. Last 45 minutes going to be dedicated to Alabama and Auburn. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
I'm Jimmy Goree with Goree's Furniture. We would like to invite you to come shop our huge selection of furniture. But if you don't have time, we have over 2,000 items you can have shipped directly to your home. Go to GoreesFurniture.com, look for 48-hour quick ship. Shop, click, ship, it's just that easy. You can shop us here, or you can shop us online, only at Goree's Furniture.
Your express way to saving.
At Majestic Caverns, we believe in the power of unforgettable experiences. At a cool 60 degrees year-round, America's most historic caverns guarantees an enjoyable escape. But it doesn't stop there. With over 20 above-ground attractions, including 5 new ones this year, and our Cave Cafe, which offers delicious drinks and plenty of food options. And don't miss our exciting event, Libertas. On June 29th, July 6th, and July 13th, enjoy live entertainment and much more. At Majestic Caverns, your unforgettable adventure awaits.
Truckloads of fresh inventory are rolling into Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika. Check out the powerful new Chevrolet Silverado 4-wheel drive crew cabs, discounted up to $13,750 off. Chevy Equinox with discounts up to $6,000 off. And listen to this, 2024 Chevy Blazer EV, as low as $295 a month. Brand new Chevy Blazer EV, 24 months lease, just $295 a month.
Get ready to smile.
We'll welcome in another guy running on fumes this morning like we are, Luke Robinson. He may be literally running on fumes. He's running down the road right now. But Luke, appreciate you joining us here on the Saturday Sports Countdown. You got off the scoreboard show last night. Quickly, just your analysis after last night, 2 weeks in the high school football season, and already some crazy stuff going on.
There is, and it's just high school football in the state of Alabama, still a lot of fun. The Hoover-Spain Park game was something else. I do love week 2. Like you said, it is rivalry week. I did want to mention something you started talking about, how, regret about not playing football and the loss of numbers. I've got a son, my youngest son is in 9th grade in Ohio, and he's never been the most athletic of the bunch of us. And he just came to his mom and me this past summer and said, I think I want to play football. And I was all for it. She kind of was too. We were both a little worried about him getting hurt. But I said, if he's going to get hurt, I said, and you almost need to a little bit, but something's going to run over you in life. And I kind of would rather it be a junior fullback so that you learn to deal with it, rather than be a boss or a competitor when you're 32 years old and you don't know how to deal with it. And I think football is the greatest teacher of all the sports. I mean, you can learn something from everything. You can learn something from any sport. But I think football teaches you as much about life in general going forward as any sport out there. You're always going to have obstacles. You're going to have days where you're not your best. You're always going to go up against somebody who's a little bigger than you, faster than you, smarter than you, better than you, and you better learn to deal with it. And sometimes you have to learn to deal with, I'm not as good as they are, but I've got to figure out a way to, make my own path. And so I'm super proud of him. It's been really frustrating for him at times, but he hasn't quit, and I wouldn't let him if he wanted to, but he doesn't want to. And he's getting bigger, stronger, and faster. Now, it's all relative. I mean, he's not going to turn into Real Owens, but he's going to be bigger, stronger, faster. And I said, Walker, by the time you're in 11th grade, you're going to be so happy you did this. It's hard right now, but everything that's worth having is hard on the front end and better on the back end.
No, you couldn't have said it any better. And I just said it about Braden. Y'all know that. To me, and Randy said it's the best sport in the world, and there's so many things to learn because it's not easy. And you said it. It's not going to be easy in the real world, so go ahead. It prepares you for what's to come. Well, Luke, let's dive into to college football. Alabama on the field tonight. The Kalen DeBoer era begins tonight against Western Kentucky. Just your initial thoughts on the game.
Well, it's going to be funny. TJ Finley comes back to college for his 50th reunion, I think. That boy has done more realignment than any Oklahoma or Texas or anybody else. He's been all over the place, and more power to him. I guess if we talk about how much we love football, and if that's what he wants to do, by God, he's going to do it. And he is experienced, so I think this is a great first test for Alabama. In this sense, it's not a great test in the sense of, Georgia playing Clemson or Notre Dame and Texas A&M. That's not what I mean. Alabama's got a bunch of youngsters in the secondary and newcomers. Keon Sabb back there, transferring over from Michigan, Mbakwe, Zay Mincy, Zabian Brown. They've got a bunch of Damani Jackson transferred over from USC. They got a bunch of dudes who need to develop some chemistry. And I'm glad they're not playing somebody weaker than Western Kentucky with an inexperienced quarterback, because I don't want to give them a false sense of hope or confidence. And I think they're playing a team that's just dangerous enough to test them out while their mistakes won't force Alabama to lose. And I think that's a perfect first game. And not to get off the rails, but I feel like Texas A&M has a perfect first game. They need to beat somebody with a big name like Notre Dame. They don't need to beat up on anybody else. They need to prove to the nation they can play with some of the bigger boys. and they need to beat Notre Dame. I think Auburn's playing a perfect game. Auburn has lost 3 in a row. They don't need to play a tough team or somebody that can upset them. They need to play somebody that they can slap around a little bit, and I think that's what Auburn will do tonight. So I think all 3 teams like that in the SEC have the perfect beginning game, whereas somebody like Florida, they got a game that scares me half to death for them.
Yeah, I totally agree. Real quick, and Randy will jump in here. I think you just said it. A lot of excitement around Alabama and Auburn for different reasons. Alabama's got a new coach for the first time in 17 years, so that's crazy in itself. We didn't think we'd ever see, especially Auburn fans, the end of Nick Saban's era. We thought that was just going to go on for eternity. But Alabama fans kind of on edge a little bit to see how that goes. And then Auburn, with all these recruits and everything, it's best recruiting we've had probably in 20 years, to see some of these new faces that may have an impact. So a lot of excitement around both of those programs. But, Randy, I'll kick it to you, let you take over right here.
Luke, newcomers for Alabama, those of us that don't keep up, kind of tee up some of the guys that we'll see out there for the first time tonight that we'll talk a lot more about moving forward.
Well, I think I'm already the self-proclaimed president of the Ryan Williams fan club. I just think he's awesome. I think he's going to be a star. If there's a prop bet out there, if Ryan Williams will score a touchdown, I would bet on it. I just think he's got an it factor that you can't, and it's intangible. You can't put a finger on it. That's just what he does. He's born to play this game. So I think he's going to have a good game. I think he'll be out there a lot. I mentioned the defensive backs and Jalen Mbakwe, Zabian Brown, Zay Mincy, all of those guys. Red Morgan from Central Phoenix City. You know, there's a guy that cut his teeth going up against Cam Coleman a lot in practice. So, I mean, he's played some dudes before. He played in 7A in the state of Alabama. That's just dudes everywhere. So I expect him to get out there and play some. A name that a lot of people may not know and may not think about is Justin Okoronkwo. And don't ask me, I can spell it, but I'd rather not. I'm driving and I need to concentrate. It's tough. He's from Germany. And you know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of what I was talking about with my son Walker. Not athletically, don't get me wrong, but in a sense that, I mean, he's from Germany. He doesn't even know what he doesn't know yet, but he is so incredibly gifted. And they said at practice they've been trying to, like, hey, let's throw it at him, you know, trying to make the quarterbacks look good from time to time, you know, trying to boost up their confidence. And he's just been all over the place. He's very athletic, very instinctive. Yes, he's going to have some missteps. He's going to have some serious missteps. But it wouldn't shock me at all if Justin Okoronkwo got out there tonight and played some significant snaps. And here's another rule a lot of people may not know, and this is, again, just the college football changing by the minute. The new redshirt rules are this. You can play in 4 games just like you always could and still redshirt, right? But you can also play, and this doesn't count against anything, you can play in the conference championship game and all the playoff games or bowl games and it not count. So theoretically, if you want a redshirt and you want to play in 9 games and the coaches want to play you in 9 games, they can. That is a game changer because that gives somebody 9 games to get better for the next year or 9 games to audition their talents for whoever they want to transfer to.
Why do we have any rules anymore? I mean, that basically is not even a rule. What you just read off is, I mean, hey, I got an idea. You want a red shirt? But, hey, you can play in every game if you want to. You know, we'd love – I mean, this is silly. It's really gotten stupid, man.
But see, Brett, that's the thing to me is sort of like in a way I understand it because we're moving towards the NFL. So if that's what we're all admitting we're doing, I kind of get it, just like you have free agency and whatever in practice squads, okay? I get it. But see, with college, I think that's always been the thing, right? That you don't have guys that were walk-ons that come in and save the day or, you know, make a huge play in a game unless you have some instances where somebody does get hurt or somebody is booted from the team and you can't waste a red shirt or you can't do this. You know, I just feel like we're changing fundamentally everything about college sports. And in a way, I understand it because everybody talks about, you know, hey, these kids deserve money. money and these kids deserve, they're just rewards and all this. But gosh, I mean, I've always liked college football being different from the NFL. I mean, I've just liked it. And the more I hear about the NIL situations and the more I see about how some of these recruiting things have been going down for years, and I'm not naive. I know it's been going on forever to some extent. But, boy, it is getting disastrous, if you ask me. I mean, and again, maybe I'm overreacting, maybe I'm too old, but I feel like things are going to come to a head one way or the other, and it's just not going to be the sport that we've all loved, and that's going to change everything.
It's already there. It's already there, in my opinion. This is the first year of the 12-team playoff, and it just already feels like NFL 2.0, and I'm with you. That's what made college football so good to all of us, because it wasn't the NFL. Now, me and you are big fans of the NFL. I like watching the NFL, but I like being able to watch college on Saturday and NFL on Sunday, and it'd be two total different products. Now, you're basically doing the same thing. But Luke, we're up against the break, brother. We're behind. So, hey, enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Be safe on the road, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, Brett, just one more thought about it. I like honey mustard and I like ice cream. I don't like honey mustard on my ice cream. Why can't I have college on Friday and NFL on Sunday?
Amen to that. I'm with you. I totally agree. Good analysis. Appreciate it, Luke. Thanks, buddy.
Same.
All right, up against the break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
If you're tired of the same old and you're hungry for something really good, then it's time to go to JR's Sports Bar and Grill. JR's has the best fingers and wings around, and their menu is loaded with appetizers, burgers, salads, and so much more. Follow JR's on their Facebook to keep up with their live music events and drink specials. And if after a long day you just want to stay in, remember JR's delivers. Call in your order at 256-329-2328. JR Sports Bar and Grill, 145 Alabama Street in Alexander City.
Get ready to rev up your fall with Adams Motorsports in Montgomery. This season, experience the thrill of the open road like never before. From sleek motorcycles to powerful ATVs to versatile side-by-sides, we've got everything you need to fuel your passion for adventure. Whether Polaris, Suzuki, or Kawasaki, Adams sells and services the best. Go to where the journey begins. Visit us today or online for more information. From East Alabama's first family of power sports, Adams Motorsports of Montgomery.
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU SEC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen-printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
Now at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika, the full-size GMC Sierra 4x4 crew cabs discounted up to a giant $15,000 off. GMC Canyons with plenty of power and excellent towing ability, up to $5,000 off. And the roomy and enjoyable compact SUV, the popular GMC Terrains, up to $6,750 off.
Choose from over 500 new and used vehicles on the lot or on the way to Glenn Smith and Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Everyone to the Saturday Sports Countdown presented by JR's Sports Bar and Grill and Sunshine Heating and Air. A couple segments left on the show today. Again, thanks to everybody that has commented and called in, and we appreciate it. All right, flip over to Auburn. Talked about Alabama. Auburn has Alabama A&M tonight. It's not really about Alabama A&M. It's about what Auburn is going to do tonight, and this is what a game like this is supposed to be. It's not a matter if you're going to win the game. It's by how much and how do you look. And so I guess if you're looking at all we've talked about the last 2.5 months, the eyes are going to be on this offense. I mean, we're concerned about there's concerns on defense, but what does this offense look like? Peyton Thorne is got to be a lot better this year. We know that. Got a lot better targets to throw to, got a pretty much a veteran offensive line, even though some guys have been moved around. Is he sharp? Is he methodical against a much lesser opponent tonight?
You'll know, because if he's missing intermediate and short passes, which were part of the issue last year, and not getting the ball far enough downfield to hit some of these big plays, he's got two guys now, and there's more than two, but he's got two guys now that are going to extend defenses. Cam Coleman's going to extend defenses. You're going to have to not let him get over the top of you. Malcolm Simmons is going to do the same. That's what those two guys are there for.
Perry Thompson.
Perry Thompson, I'm not sure if he's that guy. I think Perry Thompson is more of an intermediate guy that could get over the top, but those other two are speedsters. And Cam Coleman's a freak show of an athlete to go along with it.
Sure.
A 50-50 ball, like you made mention in the first hour with Sedarian Morgan, a 50-50 ball with Cam Coleman may be more of a 70-30, and you've got to give him a chance from time to time to go make that play. So
if not, you're not using all your weapons. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, go ahead. Hey, caller, you with us? All right, call us back if you can. We'd love to hear from you out there. But I thought that was a great analysis there. You got to go. Man, I know it's probably a lot easier said than done a lot of times, but when you got guys that clearly have an advantage and that you go in and you recruit to be a game changer. We talked about this on Auburn Blitz yesterday. Do you remember a wide receiver recruit ever at Auburn as highly touted as Cam Coleman?
No.
Ever? I mean, we haven't had I'm not afraid to say this. We haven't had a Julio Jones wide receiver at Auburn ever.
Well, look at the stat.
Ever.
Terry Beasley's it.
That's it.
Terry Beasley is the only one that we've had where you knew he was the best wide receiver in the conference.
That's right.
And the stats weighed out.
They did.
So he's it.
But
the
Cam
rest of them,
Coleman,
we've had some really good ones, and one of your favorite, maybe your favorite Auburn player of all time is Lawyer Tillman.
That's right.
And his yard per reception average was well into the 20s, and I think he did lead the country one year in that, but he didn't get a lot of opportunities.
Because they just didn't throw the football
in that attack that we had. But, staying with this real quick, a couple of numbers that Auburn must cure. And tonight is not going to probably show us what's going to happen the rest of the season, but total offense last year, Auburn was 90th in the country. We only averaged 350 yards offense a game. Must change. Passing offense, last year we were 121st in the country. 162 yards a game. Must change.
Yeah, it's gotta
so
be
the
better.
question is, where does that 350 go to this year, and where does that 162 go to this year? Those are the two key stats for the season for me. I think we'll be strong enough on the defensive side of the ball to stay in all the ball games.
I do too. Yep.
I believe that. Now, are we national championship or playoff contenders with that defense? That's a different story than Auburn's been when 3 years in a row we've had a losing record.
Right.
So let's make gradual steps before we go to that step. I think we'll be perfectly fine on defense to be competitive. You can't compete in today's college football throwing for 160 yards a game.
No.
So that stat's got to go to closer to 240 or 250. Which means tonight, in a game where you need to throw it around and show off some of these guys and give them some positive momentum moving into the season, I don't care if it's Hank Brown or Peyton Thorne that ends up both with 170 yards passing apiece, but you gotta creep up there to around 300 yards passing tonight to give everybody a good positive feel where we can go with this thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, let's go to the phone lines again. Caller, go ahead.
Yeah. Y'all on the line there, guys?
We're here.
All right, this is old Shelly here.
Go ahead, brother.
Look at here. Do y'all know about that Jones boy down at St. Paul's?
The Jones boy at St. Paul's.
Right.
I don't guess I do.
Well, he's a sophomore, guys, and he is unreal. So this kid is going to be coming out, and he plays Iron Man ball too, when he has to. But mostly he's a defensive end, and he has all the skills and everything. When you see an athlete like this, but he just remember that name. His last name, I can't think of his first name. I think it's Anthony Jones.
Okay.
His name is Jones.
We'll be watching out for that kid.
Yes. Most definitely watch out for that kid right there.
All right, we appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much. All right, have a good one. And I know we got to get
Butch
to
is back.
Butch is back.
How long has
Butch
been?
Shelley?
Well, Shelley's another one. He got a lot of
I know, but it was Shelley and Butch.
Yeah.
I recognized like 2 seconds in the call, I'm like, Butch is back. So, hey, look, they're all still out there in Sports Blitz world. They just may not call all the time.
I wish he'd start calling.
Right. I mean, there's a lot of look, I get text all the time. People go, look, man, we watching. We just don't call. And that's going back to call in. I don't want to cut you off, but going in call-in shows for years, man, you have a few that will like to call in and be part of the show. You got a lot more that would probably like to, and they just can't pick the phone up and do it for whatever reason. So,
well, the ones that will, please do. That's why we got the number at the bottom of the screen. We're moving into football season. Sometimes I get tired of hearing Brett talk, and I know he gets tired of hearing me talk, especially after a full game and a full night last night. So we'd like some differing opinions out there. St. Paul's can produce them, though. Yeah. They always have. There's some private schools and some other schools down in Mobile.
Look how many good players came out of that program.
Yep.
So, all right, up against the break. Stay tuned. More to come right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Alex City and west side of the lake. It's time to celebrate because the all-new Lake Martin Pizza is open with the area's best pizza, and it's just down Highway 63 South in our town. Lake Martin Pizza of Highway 63 has a huge outdoor seating area with enclosed heated comfort, a full bar with cold beer, wine, and full spirit selection with family ownership and fun for the whole family. Dine in or pick up. It's just a short drive to our town and is hands down the area's best pizza. Like us on Facebook to see upcoming live entertainment and watch sports on our 360 wraparound TVs. Rejoice! Lake Martin Pizza on Highway 63 is ready for you.
Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation is coming soon to the corner of 280 and 49 North in Dadeville. This new 10,000 square foot facility is conveniently located to serve the residents of the Lake Martin area and its many communities. A branch of Frederick Dean Funeral Home and Crematory in Opelika, Lake Martin Funeral Home and Cremation looks forward to serving your families and your communities, as we have since 1900 at Frederick Dean. 256-750-0381.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All in an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hi, this is Andrew McGreer at Dunning Roofing. At Dunning Roofing, we specialize in high-quality, premium roofs. We don't build roofs that just meet code requirements. We build quality roofs with premium materials that significantly exceed our competitors' warranties. We put money on your roof, not in our pockets. If you're looking for a top-quality roof, call Dunning Roofing today for your free quote at 256-307-7601 or visit us at dunningroofingal.com for more information.
The new owners of Stillwater's Country Club want to welcome you to play the area's premier course at Stillwater's with our new rate. Now, play for only $35 per 18 during the week and only $40 for the weekend. Stillwater's Golf is ready to give you the area's best golf experience, and many upgrades are coming, including a lighted range and course expansion. Meet the new staff and enjoy $35 per 18 Monday through Friday and $40 on the weekends. All at Stillwater's Country Club in Dadeville.
At Team One Hyundai, it's the Summer Savings Sales Event. All new Hyundais will be sold at employee pricing, plus an unheard of $1,000 bonus for your trade-in. See our huge selection of new and pre-owned inventory at team1hyundai.com. Don't miss the summer savings with employee pricing, plus a $1,000 bonus for your trade. Team One Hyundai of Gadsden, where the experience exceeds your expectations.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Thunderbolt Lightfoot at Oscar's Cafe on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, Alabama is looking to see you today. Now let me tell you, they got great food. They've always had great food all these years. Now they still got that atmosphere. They still got that service. They still cater. Let me stop right there. 15 to 415 they can handle. So give them a call today at Oscar's Highway 49 South in Dadeville. 256-825-4827.
Inspired by the bold bison, Southern Union students blaze new trails every single day. They press forward knowing their SU education will lead them to success. Affordable, accessible, and locally unparalleled. Whether you're transitioning to a university or launching straight into a lucrative career, a degree from SU SDC can help you blaze your path. 3 locations, dedicated faculty and staff, endless possibilities. It's all waiting for you at Southern Union. It's time to venture forward. Register today.
Announcing Camping World's Inflation Buster camping program. You can now get into a new RV starting at just $98 a month. We won't let the economy steal your camping season. Take advantage of this very limited time offer and lock in your low monthly payment today.
All right, star-studded group of visitors today on the Plains for Auburn. Deuce Knight, namely, and Naeem Alford, both in attendance. Cedarian Morgan, a late add today to the 26 class. of visitors. So he'll be back to Auburn today as part of this group. Look, from 25 down to 28, Auburn. Randy, you and I have not seen recruiting to this.
We haven't had the effort we're getting now. We haven't. We have not had anyone.
We went from Brian Harsin, who was the absolute worst, to now maybe one of the best.
One of the best with I keep going back to effort. You know, and I was going to give Brian Harsin a pass if he was showing effort and his assistant coaches.
But he didn't.
But it's the entire staff for Hugh Freeze. It's Marcus Davis. It's Coach Nix. It's recruiting the state of Alabama. It's making sure that everyone out there knows that even if you tell us no and you commit to somebody else, that we're not quitting until you sign on the dotted line.
Right.
Alvin Henderson being one. We're going to show you more love even after you decide to commit to somebody else. And if you still stay committed to somebody else,
that's okay.
We're at least going to effort at this thing. And we're doing this without top NIL money. We're not throwing NIL money around like Ohio State. No. I know we're competing. I'm not saying that we're not spending money and making sure that we're staying in there. You wouldn't be getting anybody if that were the case. But anybody that's got anything to complain about with Auburn football right now is just they're crazy.
And Auburn can get back, and I'm going to read this list off. I think this is important. Auburn's proven in the last decade they can get to a national championship and they can win it. You look at longest title droughts among Power 4 schools, not really Power 5 now, Power 4 schools, going all the way back to BYU at 39 years, Penn State at 37 years now. Last time they won national titles, 1986. Okay, Notre Dame, Randy, 1988. Mm-hmm. It's been 35 years since Notre Dame won a national championship. Colorado won it in 90. I know there's a lot of hype around Deion and all that.
I can tell you what they're not going to do is win one this year.
Good gosh, their defense is horrendous. North Dakota State, Travis Hunter just won the ball game. You know, sometimes you
Shedeur Sanders.
But
they got two 110% pros.
That's exactly what
Shedeur Sanders.
But they have.
He could be starting in the NFL right now.
But they have the worst defense.
Terrible. They don't have the pieces to win it.
So Washington played for one last year with DeBoer, but it's been since '91 since they won one. 32 years. I'm listing off these Power 4 programs, named programs, that hadn't won squat in a long time. Nebraska's been 26 years since relevancy, 97. Tennessee won it in 98, 25 years ago. I'm glad Auburn's not. My point is Auburn's not on this list. Oklahoma won their last national championship in 2000. In 23, now they played for some, but they haven't won it. In Miami in 2001, it's been 22 years. Look at these programs: Oklahoma, Miami, Tennessee, Notre Dame, Penn State, Nebraska, Washington. Those are all national prominent programs. I'm just glad to see Auburn's not on this list, which means that Auburn can get back. Auburn can, with the right leadership and the right recruiting, Auburn can be at the top. They're not in this list of the last 40 years going in a drought with the national.
Well, what I love about Hugh Freeze and his staff, and they say it out loud and they mean it. They don't hide behind it. 10th in recruiting is not good enough. Auburn finishing 8th in recruiting, not good enough. If our expectation is to beat our rivals consistently, and that's Georgia and Alabama, you will not do that unless you recruit in the top 3. And we got a top 3 class this year, I think, that we're going to finish up, and we may finish number 1 next year.
Yeah.
That's how good things look. And if we don't.
Well, it's a relentless mindset,
yeah,
right?
Yes.
Well, you know, and I think, let's be honest, in the last 15 years, what would we always say on our programming? Man, we got a top 10 class. We got a top 10 class. Yeah. And we'd always be like 8, 9, 7,
12.
Something like that. But, hey, man, we got a top 10 class. You know, it's like we never set our expectations. We were like, we can't get to 1. So we already had a hurdle in our mind from a fan standpoint. We can't get to 1. So, but we can get in the top 10. And if we're in the top 10, we're a top 10 program. We're content. These other schools, they're not content with that. And Freeze has come in and changed that mindset, and he said, why can't Auburn be number 1? Why can't Auburn be the number 1 recruiting class? We're number 5 right now. We're not stopping. Why can't we be challenging for the number 1 spot this year? I think it's all about mindset. And a lot of times you set your limits yourself. And I think Auburn fans were content reaching a top 10 and saying, okay, that's about as good as we can do. Well, you don't stretch yourself until you put all cards on the table. And I think Hugh Freeze is showing everybody right now that Auburn can push themselves all the way to the top of the recruiting ranking. So, again, a great list of players. Again, a lot of commitments that are going to be there, but Deuce Knight, Naeem Alford, and Elijah Melendez from Miami. He's from Osceola, Florida, but he's committed to Miami. Those three targets are already committed to Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Miami. Auburn's trying massively to flip all three of them. That's part of their goal this week. So
I think we're going to get a couple of them.
Yep.
I feel real good on Deuce Knight. I think that may even happen this weekend.
I think so.
And, man, we are hard after Alford. And he's going to have to really turn down a big push to get him. I'm going out on a limb and say we get him too.
I think you're right. I think Auburn ends up with both of those, and I would not be surprised if they add Melendez as well. And then there's a couple other guys that are sitting out there that are potential 5 stars that if Auburn does get those two guys, and I won't talk about them right now, but if they get those two guys, Randy, they will push Ohio State for that number 1 spot. So, I mean, because at that point, if they increase Jared Smith to consensus 5-star,
that's going to happen too.
Deuce Knight will have a 5-star. Naeem Alford, 5-star. There's an offensive lineman out there Auburn's looking at, number 1 tackle in the country. That's a 5-star. You get those, now you got as many 5-stars really as Ohio State and almost Alabama. It comes down to just a few points who's number 1 at that point.
And that really doesn't matter.
It does.
But what did matter was when Alabama's finishing 1, Georgia's finishing 2, and we finished 10. I remember this program like it was yesterday.
Yep.
And they had 25 apiece, top 300 players on theirs, and we got 10. I'm no rocket scientist, but that's 2.5 times as many top 300 guys. Do the math.
And
you do that year after year after year, you look down and
they got a whole roster of those.
Well, they got 40 more.
Yep.
So if 10 of them don't pan out, which 10 to 15 aren't going to pan out, they don't feel it anywhere near as bad as when our few don't pan out.
Exactly right. No doubt. Well, that's going to wrap it up for the Saturday Sports Countdown. Again, we're glad college football is back, kick back. Going to be a fun weekend, Labor Day weekend of college football. Got games going on Sunday. You got USC, LSU. You got Florida State back in action against Boston College. They better not drop 2 in a row. They'll be in deep you-know-what. But Alabama and Auburn back on the field. It's going to be fun, both games tonight. We'll look forward to being back with you next week for an analysis on all of this and breaking down all those games. And, of course, more high school football coming your way next week as well. For Randy Lee, I'm Brett Pritchard saying we've enjoyed it. We hope you have a great and safe Labor Day weekend, everybody.
Summertime is a special time. Time on the water, time away from work, and more time with family and friends. Make sure your heart is ready for the season with an appointment at the UAB Heart and Vascular Clinic at Russell Medical. I'm Dr. Kevin Sublett, and our entire clinic is dedicated to keeping your heart healthy. We're right here in your own community and backed by the knowledge and expertise of UAB Medicine. Make an appointment today by calling 256-234-2644 or visit uabmedicine.org/heartrussell.
If you listen carefully, you'll hear the roads of Alabama calling. And Sarah Honda has your answer. Serving you for over 40 years with one of the largest Honda and pre-owned inventories in the state and the Sarah Promise. Our best deal when you buy or trade, a 72-hour exchange policy, a no-hassle trade-in promise. Written offers are good for 7 days. And our best service promise. Our factory-certified technicians help keep your vehicle running smoothly. That's why Alabama can be yours to discover in a new vehicle from Sarah Honda in Sylacauga.
Farmers and Merchants Bank of Dadeville is building a foundation of strength and trust in the entire Lake Martin community. With our modern branch in Dadeville and caring, attentive staff, we've established Farmers and Merchants Bank as a reliable friend to your banking needs. Whether it's just a savings or checking account or any commercial, auto, or real estate loan, Farmers has local decision-making to build a relationship with you and your needs. Farmers and Merchants Community Bank. Strength, service, community.
With summer here, the kids out of school, and fun at the lake, illness or injury can strike at any time. Whether you're on vacation or just don't have time to go see your primary doctor, visit your friends and professionals at Ivy Creek Urgent Care, located at Highway 49 South, next to Stillwater's main entrance, with a rotation of 4 professional doctors and 3 nurse practitioners. They honor all walk-ins, get you in, properly treated, and out swift so you can be back to the summer fun fast. When you need urgent, see Ivy Creek Urgent Care, Daveville. No appointment needed.
Lee Apparel is your go-to vendor for screen printed and embroidered apparel and promotional products. We print and embroider free custom-made graphics or outsourced designs on everything from t-shirts, headwear, corporate wear, team sportswear, high-end safety apparel, and promotional products. At Lee Apparel, you can always expect quick turnaround time, competitive pricing, friendly customer service, and free in-hands delivery on all orders. Visit us at leeapparel.com to get started.
Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor wants you to know the only thing hotter than the summer on the lake is the hot incentives with all Mahindra tractors and farm implements and tough Spartan mowers. Right now, get the year's hottest deals on Mahindra with financing up to 84 months or 0%. Speaking of zero, see the huge selection of zero-turn Spartan mowers with 0% interest, financing up to 60 months. See the Lake's authorized Mahindra and Spartan dealer, Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor, for deals that sizzle all season long. Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor wants you to know the only thing hotter than the summer on the lake is the hot incentives with all Mahindra tractors and farm implements and tough Spartan mowers. Right now, get the year's hottest deals on Mahindra with financing up to 84 months or 0%. Speaking of zero, see the huge selection of zero-turn Spartan mowers with 0% interest, financing up to 60 months. See the Lake's authorized Mahindra and Spartan dealer, Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor, for deals that sizzle all season long.